Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin. I have been sharing and documenting everything there is on my journey to becoming a single mom by choice. I know I've been a little MIA if you've been following me along since my last video, but really there hasn't been a lot of updates to share. We talked a little bit about life update and my transfer protocol. I really like my new doctor, and when I do move forward with a transfer, I'll be doing a modified natural cycle. But I've really just been working a lot and trying to figure out the best timing for a transfer between work schedules and vacation schedules and just living my life this summer as well, with balancing out trying to get pregnant. Because as you know, the IVF process, there's lots of monitoring, there's lots of appointments, all of those things. And I really want to make sure that I personally am in a great space to manage my stress levels and take care of myself in the best way possible. When I'm doing these big community grand openings, I'm working a lot. I'm doing like 12, 13-hour days right now. I have an hour and a half commute. It's just a lot on me. So I wanted to try to time that in the best way possible. And the reality is there's never going to be a perfect time for any of this, right? But we have to adapt, and I'm going to just be flexible. And I'm happy to say that the timing is going to work out, that I will actually be moving forward with a transfer on my next cycle, which will be early June. So stay tuned for those videos, and I'll take you along through that journey as well. And fingers crossed that everything works out great and I'll be pregnant in July. So the purpose of today's video, what I wanted to do on today's video is a little bit different, and I really just wanted to come on here and talk through some resources that may be available to you and resources that helped me on this path to deciding to become a single mom by choice. And there's a variety of different resources, but I want to say the big theme of everything is community, right? And getting the support that you need from the people that you trust and that also understand what you're going through. So for me, there's been a variety of different resources. The first one started really just here on Facebook and YouTube. So with YouTube, I went through and researched and kind of started digging around on here. So in today's video though, I really just wanted to talk about resources that I have found extremely helpful as I'm navigating this path and decision to becoming a single mom by choice, in hopes that maybe some of these resources you'll find helpful as well. And I think the big theme of the resources is all about community and just support. So everyone is different. Everyone has different levels of how comfortable they are sharing this path. I have been extremely open with my friends and my family about this path, and I think that that's really helped me process everything, but also be able to communicate my concerns and talk through different things. I'm clearly an open book. I have a YouTube channel documenting all of this, so I am very open and honest about all of this. And I also wanted to be open because I felt like it helped me overcome the fear of judgment later on, which should not be the case. We should feel empowered and motivated to do this. But at the same time, I didn't want people, once I become pregnant, to start questioning, who's the baby daddy? Did she have a one-night stand? You know, because that's just not who I am as a person. I would have loved to find that person, right? I would have loved to find that partner to spend the rest of my life with. And that may happen at some point in the future, but I need to live my life and find the things that are going to give me purpose in life and make me happy, which will then, translate into my dating life and my professional life and all of those things. So there's a few resources that I found really helpful, along with me just being open and communicating this path and the decision that I was working through with friends and family. The first was YouTube. And that's kind of what inspired me to make this YouTube channel as well. I found a girl on YouTube that I genuinely felt like I connected with, and watching her videos, I was like, I feel like her and I would be friends in real life. And it made this path seem a lot less scary and a lot less weird, if that makes sense. I think finding someone that you can relate to is key. And I may be that person for you, and I may not be that person for you, and that's okay. But this girl and I really connected, and it's actually funny because we have a mutual friend that we never even knew about that lives in a different state. It was actually kind of a very small world moment. And her and I have stayed friends, and we communicate on Instagram, and she's really helped be a support for me in this process. And it's really helped me to work through some of the emotions of it, and just kind of pros and cons and timing and life and, just the whole decision-making process. So I am so grateful for her and the friendship that she has provided with me throughout this process. So YouTube was a big support for me as I was just kind of thinking about making the leap into solo motherhood. The next resource that I had found was my local Facebook page. So I live in a bigger city, right? I'm in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So we have a lot of people, and we actually have a big Facebook group of single mothers by choice. I'm not super active on the Facebook page, but it's nice to kind of read the comments, read what other people are going through. Everyone is so supportive. And they haven't done this in a while, but we used to do different events and meetings and things like that. So I actually ended up going on a New Year's Day hike with them, and some girls brought their babies, some girls were pregnant, some girls were in the thinking and trying phase. And it was just really nice to be around people locally that have the same experiences and are going through the same thing, that fully understand what you're going through, where you can kind of talk through your fears, talk through the fertility treatments, and they really get it. One girl from there and I have stayed friends as well, and we text almost weekly, and we're going to be kind of going through a transfer around the same time. So it will be kind of cool if we're pregnant at the same time and we're local and can kind of go through the newborn days together and have play dates and all of those things. So that will be really nice as well as things progress. But we do have a nice little group here. We occasionally meet for coffee or we text, so that's been really nice to have people local that you can actually meet up with to go through this process with and the support. So definitely look on Facebook for any local single mom by choice Facebook groups and really just build that community. The third resource that I really wanted to talk about that has been probably the most helpful just in general is the Single Greatest Choice. I am so grateful to Katie and her podcast and her community groups for helping me through the thought process, the ups and the downs, the emotions of all of this, because I don't think people really talk about the grieving process that needs to happen when you're choosing this path. I always thought that I was going to find someone, I was going to find that partner and have a family and have the white picket fence and have the golden retriever and, all the things. And then throughout the process, I've had to grieve that reality that might not be my path right now. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen ever one day, but I need to focus on making myself happy right now, and something that is going to give my life purpose and have the family that I've dreamed of. And my family will love this baby so much. They're so excited. And it's just been really great. But Katie has a podcast called The Single Greatest Choice, and that's kind of where it started for me. I really felt like I could relate to some of her guests that she had on the podcast that kind of normalized this grieving process and all of the emotions that I was feeling, but also gave me this huge sense of empowerment. And so that was a really great podcast for me, which really kind of pushed me over the edge to say, I can do this. And then I joined one of her community groups that she had, and we met there's probably 10 or 12 of us in the community group, and most of them have babies now. We used to meet every single week virtually over Zoom and kind of talk through a variety of different topics, which was really helpful. And we still have a WhatsApp group and text, and we're all in the loop on each other's lives and babies, and just it's been such a great support system for me as well, and really building a relationship with these women who are so incredible all over the country. And the reality is in these groups, right, you're not going to totally mesh with everybody, and that's just life. But if you can find those one or two people that you really, really connect with, that's incredible. But then also just to have the support of people who understand what you're going through, you're supporting them, they're supporting you. It's just a really great sense of community, which again is kind of the theme of today's video. So on top of the community groups with Katie that I did, she also started this Single Greatest Choice Village, which is almost like another Facebook group with people all over the country and all over the world. And people post in different spots, and we have group coaching calls and we have group meetings. And it's just been a really great resource to have and be there if you want the support. And so that has been incredible. She also hosts retreats. So that leads me to my next topic is I will actually be going on one of her retreats in June. So I will probably have my transfer the week before the retreat and then be in Mexico with all these girls. There's 8 other women going from all over the country that I'm so excited to meet. I don't know any of them. And we'll be likely on my 2-week wait while I'm in Mexico. So very excited about that. And just being in that environment, having that relaxation, that peaceful, grounded time, but also being around people that fully understand what I'm going through will be incredible, and I'm very excited for that trip. So I'll take you along, kind of do a little vlog, kind of talk through everything, or maybe not necessarily film a ton when I'm there because I really just want to be present, but I will share my experience of that trip with you guys as well. But I would say those are the 3 big resources that I have found extremely helpful for me in this process. I am not a big reader, so if you know any books that would be helpful for other people, like leave those in the comment section down below. But Facebook groups, definitely look into those. Look on YouTube. Obviously, you found my channel for a reason. I'm going to link my Instagram below if you want to follow me on Instagram or want to DM me and talk through anything. I'm happy to help. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give a lot of fertility, medical advice, but we can certainly talk through any of that. And I would love to be a support for you, just like so many other people have been a support for me. And then also look at the Single Greatest Choice, whether it be her podcast or her website. It has been such a blessing for me, and I'm so grateful for all of those women who have played a part in my journey. And stay tuned for the next couple of weeks because I should start my cycle likely June 1st, June 2nd, so right around there, and I'm very excited to get started and seeing how this goes. But for now, that is all I have for you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.